All right, let's light this bad boy up. Cuba Cuba, being acid cigar, it's one of the ones that's very earth toned. There is a lot of earthy flavors in a cigar like this. One thing I love about acids is they're usually very well constructed. They burn very true. You don't get a lot of canoeing with cigars like this. For the most part, I'm not saying it's never happened, but for the most part, they're constructed pretty well, and they burn very evenly. And acids are actually one of the more pricier brands too. If you look up, you compare like a lot of similar brands in the same price range. Acid is usually on the upper end of that range. Yeah, that's what I expected. All right, let's take a look at Laphroaig 10-year. I just got this bottle a little while ago. As you can see, I haven't drank just about halfway through it or so. Watched a lot of reviews. I've been a Scotch drinker for a while, but I've mainly stayed with Speysides and Lowlands, so I haven't dived into some real peaty stuff yet. And from what I hear, Laphroaig is one of the most peaty ones that there is. So if I was going to jump in, I'm just going to jump in head first and get the strongest peat I could find. And I had a glass of this stuff a couple days ago, and man, they are not kidding when they describe what this Scotch is like. Very, very different from Glenlivet, Balvenie, Auchentoshan. Completely worlds of different far for Laphroaig. Very earthy, very peaty. The other ones are more floral and honey. This is far more rich, dark. It's a very, very good Scotch. I like it. I think this stuff is just awesome. But they weren't kidding when they described it as when you take a nose. Let me take a nose real quick. My already poured glass of Scotch, already set to go, in my signature Belhurst Castle tumbler. Belhurst Castle is it's in Seneca County, right on Seneca Lake in upstate New York. Seneca Lake, if you don't know, is one of the Finger Lakes. You also have Cayuga Lake and a few others, and it is a beautiful region of New York State. If you've never been there, you definitely got to go. But yeah, when they do a nose to this Laphroaig, man, they weren't kidding. I mean, it's literally like standing right by a campfire. It's crazy. It's almost like you're at a campfire. You take out one of the logs that's been burning. You pour Scotch over it and catch it on the other side. That's what it tastes like. It's no joke. It really does taste like that. And man, I'm not an expert on how they get that flavor in there, but they get it in there. Extremely peaty, very earthy, but very good. It is powerful, but it's not like crazy overwhelming. Although it's the tastes of it are very strong. They're not offensive at all, I don't think. I really like this stuff, and it was a big shocker coming from, like I said, drinking a lot of Balvenie, Auchentoshan, that style of Scotch, to just jump right into a Laphroaig. It was a lot different, but very good. I'm not saying different as in bad. It was just a whole nother world of Scotch. And a lot of people don't like heavy peaty Scotches. I do. I love this stuff. It's great. It's almost like when I had my first glass, I was like, wow, this is like very, very rich. It's almost like having an incredibly rich dessert. You can't have too much of it just because it's so rich. Man, it's not like when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I could eat pounds of chocolate on top of pounds of chocolate. You know what I mean? Covered by peanut butter and everything else and caramel. And as you get older, your body, you just don't want to take that much of it in it at once. And it's kind of like how I feel with this stuff. It's like I had one glass, and it felt like I had a meal. You know what I mean? It was like it filled me up. It was very, very filling as a drink. It was almost like a drink that goes down like a meal. It was crazy. But yeah, I had one glass of it. I'm like, wow, this stuff is some potent stuff. I can't do that. Now look at me. Now I'm drinking doubles like there's no tomorrow. I freaking love this stuff. But it's funny. I remember when I had my first glass, so it's almost like this thing should be in a cage. You know what I mean? I mean, Laphroaig should have chains on it in my Scotch self. It should be down there. When you got to go down there, you unbuckle the chains and let this beast out. That's what it's like. This thing is just a bad boy. It really is. This is the 10-year. I am certainly looking forward to trying the 18-year. I can't wait for that. And I have no quirks about throwing down the money for a bottle of 18-year, not at all. Been doing so much talking, I forgot about smoking my cigar. Yeah, I think this. I think the 10-year went for about. I think it was like 50, 55 bucks, something like that. Yeah, because I bought 2 bottles, and together they're about $1.05, and this was about 10 bucks more than the other. So I think it was like a 55-45 split. So this is about 55 bucks. I'm not sure how much the 18 is. I'm sure it'd probably be like a Glenlivet 18. I'm sure it's over $100 or right around $100. But man, I have no problem throwing that money down at all. I'm really liking what I taste here, which means the 18-year can, as far as I can tell, it can only get better. Man, this stuff is good. This is just like. If Scotch bottles were a society, this would be the big mobster on the street. It really would. I mean, this stuff is just no nonsense. It is a very, very good Scotch, and like I said, I'm a huge, big fan of say Glenlivet 18. Love the stuff, and this is a whole different type of Scotch. But man, it's great. I love it. Just like I could drink this just like I could drink Glenlivet 18. I really could. It's unbelievable. I'm telling you, you're not going to believe the campfire smell until you actually do it. It literally feels like you're sitting right there. It's insane. Wow, that's crazy. But, yeah, absolutely. 2 thumbs up for Laphroaig 10-year, and I cannot wait to try the 18-year. I really can't. This bottle, like I said, I'm about, halfway through this sucker? I'll probably have this. I'm going to drink it reasonably, I guess. I'll probably have it another couple weeks, easy. But I'm probably going to speed through it just so I can try that 18-year. But man, this is good stuff. It's definitely worth the money. And if you haven't tried peaty Scotch yet, I would say you don't really have to ease into it. I didn't. I jumped right to the big bad boy on the block. I went right for Laphroaig, and I love this stuff. So if you haven't tried a Laphroaig, definitely try it. You're not going to be disappointed. Well, I can't guarantee that. Some people don't like peaty Scotch. Some people probably won't like it. But try it at a bar or something before you want to throw down 55, 60 bucks on a bottle. Just go out, get a shot, and give it a whirl. I took a chance. I didn't even go to a bar and try a shot before I bought this. I just threw down. I drink Scotch regularly, and I figured even if I didn't like it, I would probably still end up drinking it just because I have an affinity for Scotch. So I can be kind of ballsy like that, just throw it out on a bottle and not really try it before I do. Although I would do it on more expensive bottles. For example, I wouldn't just go out and buy, say, $200, $300, $400 bottle of Scotch. I would probably want to try that before I threw that type of money down on a bottle. But yeah, usually bottles like this in the $60 range, I'll throw down without even trying it before. And man, I'm glad I did with this guy. So Laphroaig 10-year, excellent Scotch. Love the peatiness, and you got to try this for yourself. I'm telling you, it's just if you're not familiar with Laphroaig or other peaty Scotches, definitely give this a try. You will not be sorry.